My supreme namaskarams to all of you. My name is Nerala Malyadri. I have been practicing as an advocate of Honorable Supreme Court and High Courts of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana after my voluntary retirement as a district judge in Andhra Pradesh. Today, I am interested to discuss with you about legislations relating to women's rights and especially on criminal side. There are several laws which are protecting the interests of women in India. For example, the Hindu Women's Right to Property Act 1937, Hindu Succession Act 1956, and various other laws which are protecting the rights of women in respect of Hindu undivided property governed by Mitakshara law. And there is an amendment of Hindu law in the Amendment Act 2005. Now, I am interested to speak about certain rights of a married woman. The right of a adult married women under general laws relating to employment and their physical well-being are being specially mentioned in the Constitution. It may be noticed that Articles 15 and 16 of the Constitution of India prohibits discrimination of any citizen on the grounds inter alia of sex or in matters relating to employment or appointment to any elected office under the state. Then coming to the question of physical well-being of a married woman, it may be pointed out that the husband or his relatives subjecting such a woman to cruelty are liable for punishment with imprisonment up to 3 years and fine under section 498A of the Indian Penal Code. But death of a married woman otherwise than under normal circumstances within 7 years of the marriage can be considered to be a dowry death. This is a presumption. If it is shown that soon before her death she was subject to cruelty or harassment by her husband or any of his relatives or in connection with any demand for dowry. Then the other important one is in the event of abetment to commission of suicide by a woman, the abetter can be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend up to 10 years besides fine. This is under section 309 of IPC. These are the main offences. There is one more section, criminal breach of trust. If any property is entrusted to the husband or his relatives at the time or during the course of marriage ceremonies or afterwards also with a trust, and if there is a breach, then under Indian Penal Code you can file a complaint under for committing the offence of criminal breach of trust. Then there are certain other provisions or laws like Factories Act, Equal Remuneration Act, Maternity Benefit Act 1961 and other acts which are giving protection of women in workplaces. Then there are certain important provisions which are protecting the rights of women both in civil and criminal laws. For example, in respect of an offence under section 376 of IPC, if any rape is committed, section 114 of Indian Evidence Act says that there is a presumption that the victim girl did not give consent for committing rape, when the question is whether she had given consent or not. Then, as I said, that Indian Penal Code 498A, 304B, 306, 323, 376, 342, and in Code of Criminal Procedure Code 1973, Section 47 class 2 says, no place or apartment which is in the occupation of a female and who is not the person to be arrested shall be searched by any police officer, etc., before giving of a notice to the female occupier thereof that she is at liberty to withdraw therefrom. Then section 100 and 100 class 3 of CRPC says, if a female is reasonably suspected of concealing about her person any article for which search can be made, such search shall be only be conducted by another woman with strict regard to decency. And a girl below the age of 15 years or woman can be called by any police officer to the police station in connection with the investigation of the case. So this is also a protection given to women. That another provision is, if a lady is arrested, the said arrest has to be intimated by the arresting officer to the superintendent of police, and the reasons have to be specified for the arrest when it is made by an officer lower in a rank than assistant sub-inspector. So women shall be kept after arrest with all due decency, and she shall not be kept in police custody unnecessarily, and the guidelines for that are laid down in the famous case DK Basu versus State of West Bengal, reported in 1997, 1 SEC 416 have to be implemented. Then there is another offence under section 312 of Indian Penal Code which prohibits any person from voluntarily causing a woman to miscarry, and such violation is made punishable with imprisonment which may extend to 7 years and fine. But if such miscarriage is carried out without the consent of the woman, such act is punishable up to 10 years of imprisonment and fine. So even in respect of sexual intercourse also, if the girl is above 16 years of age, then it should be done only with her consent. If it is done against her will or without her consent, it is rape. And even if a consent is obtained by putting her in danger of life or danger to somebody, and consent is taken by taking advantage of unsound reason of mind of her, or by administering some drugs, then also it is amounts to rape. If the girl is aged below than 16 years, then the question of giving consent doesn't arise at all. It is deemed that she has not given consent. So such provisions are there. The prenatal diagnostic technology regulation and prevention of misuse, section 6 clearly says, sex of the fetus of the child in the womb shall not be disclosed, and section 22 says it is punishable. So medical termination of pregnancy act also protect the pregnant woman, and if the pregnancy exceeds 12 weeks but it does not exceed 20 weeks, it can be done with the consent. Then afterwards she is not entitled to give consent at all. So likewise the law also prohibits the marriage of a girl if she is below 18 years, and female child below the age of 18 years is also liable to be punished with imprisonment up to 3 months and fine if such marriage is conducted.